welcome to another episode of the Cozy Cottage Crochet Podcast. My name is Hannah. This is
Nova,
and this is a podcast all about crochet, a little bit of knitting, sometimes sewing, though I probably should take that part off because I haven't been sewing since she was born, and generally living the yarniest life possible in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I live. You can find me as the Cozy Cottage Crochet on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you have anything to say about the podcast specifically, please shoot me an email. I have an email address set up specifically for this podcast. It is the Cozy Cottage Crochet at gmail.com. We have, okay, that actually hurts. So no kick. Gentle, be gentle. Here, look what I have for you. What is it? Goldfish. Okay, so Nova is on the floor, currently throwing books around. I don't know if this is gonna work. Last 2 weeks ago, it kind of worked, and y'all were very gracious. I don't know if it's possible for it to work again. She's a bit crazy. This is the only time I can record a podcast. It is about 9:15 on a Thursday. I've got to go to sleep when she goes to sleep, and also I haven't had any childcare yesterday or today because she was sick yesterday. She had a fever, just coughing. I thought it was going to be a days-long thing, but today she woke up and she's mostly fine, just a little cranky. So we're going to try to do this. I apologize in advance for any and all baby-related noises. They're just going to keep happening. But I do have some yarn content to show you and some exciting stuff. So basically I have all the projects that I worked on last time. I have most of them. I've done a little bit on. And after we talk about what I have been working on, we are going to do the Lykke knitting needle review, which I have promised for months and months and months to happen. So I'm finally ready to do it, and I'm excited. Thank you, baby. Not yet. She just handed me the knitting needles. I will do that in just a little bit, okay?
No,
it's not okay. So grab your favorite beverage, grab your project to work on. I have Gatorade because I'm so queasy today. Oh, thank you, baby. You got a shovel? Let's talk about what I have been working on. I haven't finished anything in particular, but I have done some work. I have 2 crochet projects and 3 knitting projects. I'm gonna start with the crochet blanket. I haven't done a ton on this, but I have done a little bit. And of course it makes me very, very happy. I did count how many of these tiny balls of yarn I have left. So I had a bunch of these little 10-gram balls of yarn that were given to me by a lovely viewer of this podcast named Rochelle. And I have put one of each one so far into this blanket, and I counted how many are currently left, and I think it's like 40, possibly 41 balls left. And I don't know how long that's gonna take me. Are you carrying my project bags like a purse? Here, let me show you off on the camera. You're holding them like purses? Just don't walk away with them because I need to show them to our friends. So I have about 40 more squares to add to this before I get into my own stash. I don't know how big that'll make it, although I could do the math. So I have done 2 squares since last time. This one and this green one. And then this is the next one that I'm going to add. So it is growing. Slowly growing. I love it. It is my Crochet Memories blanket pattern.
no, not 2.
Now you have 3. Each little square is about 6 grams of yarn, depending on your gauge. But if you're following the pattern exactly as written, it's, oh, not that one. Not that one. This is what it looks like in here. All the little balls left of yarn. So I have these, so I've used all the 10-gram balls, and like there's probably like 3 to 5 grams left of each one. So I have a bag of the leftovers. I don't know what I'm gonna do with those, make something even tinier. But I really, it's just a really meditative project to work on when I don't have any brain power to work on anything else, which is frequently. So frequently. May I have another project? Can you hand me one of those bags? You pick.
This one.
Which one?
Yellow.
Oh, well this one is a project I'm going to frog. So this one you haven't seen in quite some time. And I talked last time about how I was going to go through my whips and pick out some projects to put away or frog because they're just not going to fit me or they're not working right. And by they're not going to fit me, I mean they're not going to fit me because I'm pregnant. And they're not going to fit me postpartum, so I need to like be able to. Well, I have to talk about it. So one of the projects that I put in the closet was the Follow Larry top, which is a pattern that's so beautiful, but it's just not going to fit me the way I'm currently making it. So I need to put that one away and pick it up again in a year or two when I know what my body shape will be postpartum. I also put away in the closet, I had yarn picked out for the Flutter Free tee by Stephanie Aaron and the So Summer shirt by Jessie May, and I put all of those away. And then this one, I was like, well, I should see what's in this bag. You gotta bring those back, baby, I gotta talk about them. And in this is a hat design that I was working on, and it's very pretty, but it just was not working correctly. This is too big. And I don't know why it's too big because the math should work. It really should work. Like the brim fits just fine, but the hat part is too big. And I need to frog this and either redo it or I need to just do something else entirely with this yarn, which I may do. I thought about, because this is a self-striping yarn, maybe doing socks with this, but I don't know. Do I want to turn this into socks? Because the colorway on this yarn is called Nova. It's Serendipity yarns. Serendipity base, 75% merino, 25% nylon, and the colorway Little Nova by Freckled Whimsy. And it was a gift from a viewer of this podcast named Robin, and she sent it to me because the colorway is called Little Nova. And I don't really want to make socks out of it. I want to make something else. So I'm thinking I may frog this and actually make some sort of cowl in this same stitch pattern. I think that would be perfect. The ribbing would have to be adjusted, of course. But yes, I pulled this one out to show you that I have in fact reached my goal of going through all of my whips and putting some away, frogging some, etc. So that's really helpful, I think. And this is one of the ones that will be frogged and repurposed. Can I have another project? Pick a bag and give it to me. So I can hold this one. This is my Alina shawl. And last time I showed you, I was pretty close to being finished with it. I'm still pretty close to being finished with it, but I wanted to add a border and the border was just not working. This is a crochet design that I am working on, and now it really is almost done because I have settled on a border that I like. Let me do it this way. So this is made in lace weight Malabrigo yarn. It takes 100 grams, so 2 skeins of 50 grams each of Malabrigo lace. This is the colorway Wales Road. And you make basically this big kind of triangle, which is delightful. And oh my gosh, I just realized I'm putting the border on the wrong side of the shawl. What? I'm just gonna chalk this up to pregnancy brain. Good Lord. Okay, let me explain to you what I'm talking about, because some of you are probably like, what? So this is you start at this point of the shawl and you slowly increase. So it's an asymmetrical shawl. So the way that you wear these is you actually flip it. You wear it like this. Like so. I have a shawl on top of a shawl going on right now. So this is the way you wear it, which means, how do I get it off now? It's tangled up in my second shawl. That the border, unless I want the border to go the whole way around, which maybe I do, I don't know, needs to be on this end, which it is, and this straight piece, which it is not. I am doing the border on this side, and it's rolling because it's not blocked, so you can't really see it. So now I just realized, while podcasting, that I either need to frog. Oh, thank you, baby. Hey, I need you to not throw those all around, okay? This is how much border I have left to do. Just this piece. So I've already done all of this border and this piece, and I did not even realize while podcasting until just now that I either need to make this border go around the entire length of the shawl, which I think I have enough yarn for. I have this much left, probably 10, 15 grams. That should be enough in theory. And I may make it go around the whole shawl because why not? I'm gonna show you the border on this side because it just shows up a lot better. I think it's really pretty. It's kind of like a wave, which is perfect for this yarn. And this is a really easy pattern once you get the hang of it. It's all kind of a mesh lace pattern interspersed with solid stripes. And then you can do a border. So I may just make the border go around literally the entire length of the shawl and zhuzh it up. So like, who cares if there's a border up next to your neck? It's pretty, right? So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this. I'm gonna have a think about whether I need to do some frogging or if I just want the border to go around the entire thing. I'm thinking around the whole thing. What's wrong with that? Do you have a preference? Comment below. Do you prefer borders just on the bottom edge of your shawl, or is it okay for it to be on the top too? Uh-oh. Put this lace weight yarn away before it gets attacked by. That will be a pattern in the series of patterns that I have released. Oh, baby doll.
Okay.
I know, it's gotta stay. It's gotta stay on, okay? Don't pull it because you'll hurt the yarn. This is one of them. This is one in the series of patterns. So I was wearing the series shawl last time. This is the Vanya cowl, named after Vanya Hargreaves from the Umbrella Academy. This is also in lace weight yarn, although this is like a thick lace weight yarn. And I made this in bamboo. No, silk, 100% silk yarn. So it's like the perfect thing to zhuzh up an outfit, especially in Florida, because it doesn't add any weight or heat to my body. So I can actually wear this in Florida and while pregnant, and it's totally fine. So the Vanya cowl and the Crochet Memories pattern is on my Ravelry page and on my Payhip, which are both linked below. You can make this in fingering weight yarn. It doesn't have to be lace. I don't have any more M&Ms. You ate them all. But you may have your goldfish. Okay, you don't have to eat them. You don't have to. Are you having a hard day today? Do you need a cuddle? Oh God. You gotta sit, baby. You gotta sit. You're joking me. Okay. So the Vanya cowl is part of that pattern series. This series shawl, the Alina shawl will be part of it as well. And then maybe there'll be a fourth. I don't know. I don't know if there'll be a fourth or not. But that's what I have been working on. Let's grab these while they're not currently being hoarded by someone. I have done a little bit of sock knitting. Slip Stitch Studios bags. This is an Eeyore bag and a leopard bag. They're my favorite bag maker of all time. I have a Slip Stitch Studio stock bag that's been with me all over the world, and I just adore it. And they are closing. I know I said they were closing a while ago, but they found a way to stay open for a little bit longer, but they are in fact closing. They will no longer be making bags. Hi. Hi. And it just breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. But I have several sock bags from them, so I'm hoping that I'll just be able to make them last forever because they're my favorite bag maker. So I have done a little bit of work on these Christmas socks. Actually, all of this got done in yesterday when Nova was sick. She was so sick yesterday that we sat on the couch and watched Doc McStuffins, and she kind of snuggled and cuddled me, and I was able to knit with her sitting next to me, which almost never happens. So I knit from here all the way down yesterday. This is the colorway called Merry Knitmas. Whoa. It is by Honeybee Knits. And I started these socks, I think, back in December. Ooh, don't brush the shawl, please. And I have already completed one. I've started on the second last time. So I got a couple more inches before I put the heel in. So quite a ways to go still on these. But I knit 2.5 inches yesterday on this, which is crazy. That's crazy for one day. So I guess thank you for not feeling well yesterday so that Mommy could get some sock knitting done.
Saga.
Were you sick yesterday?
No.
You weren't? You had a fever.
I did have a fever.
You did have a fever?
No, I did have.
You didn't? What did we do yesterday? Did you watch Doc McStuffins with Mama? Why is your tongue out of your mouth? You're so weird. You're brushing my hair? This is now a hair studio podcast. The other pair of socks that I am working on. Oh boy. We've got some open stitch markers. This is sharp, baby. You can't step on it. That will hurt you. I completed this sock as well. Last time you saw this. This is colorway Wildflower. It is, looks like this in the ball. It was a gift from my lovely friend Jen. Hi, Jen. And I cannot find the tag. It's West Yorkshire Spinners, 4-ply, in the colorway Wildflower. And it stripes like this. It's so pretty. So last time I was almost through the leg. So I have finished the leg and I am now almost through the heel. I think I have maybe 3 more short rows, 3 more rows of short rows to do on the heel. So these, like all of my socks, 64 stitches, 2.25 millimeter needles. Yes, baby.
Mama.
Nova.
It just got me.
It got you? What had happened was the hairbrush that she tossed in the air hit her.
No,
It got her. And that got you too?
no, not a hairbrush.
Lord help me. So I did 15 rounds of 2x2 rib, 6 inches of leg, just straight stockinette, and then I did a fish lips kiss heel. I messed up this fish lips kiss heel because I forgot to leave a stitch for the boomerang row, and if you've done the fish lips kiss heel, you know what that means. So I just kind of...
To my leg.
What happened to your leg? I don't know. What happened to your leg?
This.
This happened? Very descriptive. So now I have a tangled situation, but yes, I'm almost through the fish lips kiss heel. I forgot to leave a row for a stitch on each side for the boomerang row, so I just fudged it and made an extra short row. And it'll be fine. It's a sock. No one cares. So yes, these 2 socks have been on the needles since December. Slowly, 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 slowly being done. And that's all it takes. If I knit 1 stitch on something, it's going in the podcast. This is the Super Bulky Grandpa cardigan by Joji Locatelli. It's the 2nd time I have made it. So you would think I would know what I'm doing. But I just don't know. I missed some increases. I completely misread one of the rows, despite the fact that I've made this previously. And I've had to do some tinking. I literally switched to doing 1 row on this like a day and counting my stitches afterwards. But we made it. We made it through the yoke. This is all I've done. I guess that's a fair amount, but goodness. This is not that much considering this is bulky yarn. But 1 row a day because I just kept messing it up and messing it up and messing it up. But the yoke is done and I have split for the sleeves and done 1, possibly 2 additional rows after the sleeve split. So I have the sleeves here on actual cables, Chalgu cables.
I have boo.
You have a boo-boo?
Yeah.
Yeah, you fell down this morning, didn't you? How come you fell down? What happened?
I fell down.
You fell down and got a boo-boo because you were running so fast? It's okay, boo-boos happen. So yeah, I love this stitch marker. It says hug me. It's like a conversation heart. It's from Knit Boop. And this yarn is Monster Mash colorway, which is a Rhinebeck specific colorway dyed by Cece's wool. So now there's much less that I have to pay attention to. I still have to pay attention, but there's less that I have to pay attention to. So it's literally just knit and purl now until I have marked every time so that I stop trying to think that I can remember. So I've like buttonhole row, start the waist shaping, decrease, waist increase, buttonhole row, waist increase, buttonhole row. All the way through, I have marked out every single row in this pattern, even through the bottom hem, of which I'm going to do 14 rows.
I need more water.
Your other water is on the table. If you go grab it, it's a full water bottle. So yeah, I don't know. I'm hopeful that I will be somewhere on this next time. I'm about to add in another ball. So this is 1 8-ounce ball of yarn for this entire yoke. I have this much left. So I'm gonna start alternating skeins. So we're gonna switch gears a little bit and we're gonna talk knitting needles. I don't know how much time we have, truthfully. This one's having a hard time. For most of the time that I have been knitting, the whole time, like all the years, I have been using ChiaoGoo interchangeable metal needles. So it comes in a case like this. I got the full set, which did take some saving up, but it is worth every penny in my opinion. And it goes from 2.75 millimeters to 10 millimeters. So quite a range of sizes. I have the 5-inch tips that look like this. Someday I'll get the 4-inch ones. I do have one random 4-inch needle that I needed for something. But these are, in my opinion, like the gold standard of knitting needles. They are super fast, they are super slick, and the cable, this is the best part of ChiaoGoo needles to me, the cable cannot be beat. The cables are amazing. They have these kind of cables. It's got some kind of steel core. They don't kink. They don't. They can be wound up like that inside of that baggie for months, and I pull them out. Thank you, baby. And they are perfectly fine to knit with. They don't coil, they don't kink, they're magical. I knit all of my socks on ChiaoGoos. They're a wonderful needle set. They are pricey, not gonna lie. However, the issue that I have found with metal needles, they are very, very fast. But I know a lot of you have hand issues, arm issues, arthritis, tendonitis, things that you are dealing with, and metal needles are not necessarily the best for that. They don't really warm up in your hands. They don't have any give whatsoever, like they are stainless steel. They are not bending at all. And because they're so fast and so slick, the yarn moves, so you end up gripping them tighter, which can cause more hand problems. Look what I found, Nova. Look, I found the butterfly you were looking for. I just saw it. So they're wonderful, and I have nothing bad to say about these ChiaoGoo needles. I love them. But they're not necessarily the best for arthritis, hand or arm issues. And I don't think I have arthritis, but I do have hand and arm issues. So I reached out to a company called Lykke. It's a company, who makes these? Knitter's Pride, Knit Pro maybe? I think so. They're Lykke Driftwood needles, and they are made of wood. Now, my first experience with wood needles was terrible. I used some clover bamboo needles that I got at Joann's. I cannot do that. But these are very slick. And so I asked them if they would be interested in sending a set for review, specifically for the purpose of, are these better for people with hand and arm issues? And they agreed, and so they sent me a set. This is what they look like. You get this many knitting needles. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pairs of needles, ranging from 3.5 millimeters to 12 millimeters. This is what they look like. You can get different colors of driftwoods. These are also the 5-inch tips. So ChiaoGoo has a 5-inch tip and a 4-inch tip needles. Lykke has a 5-inch tip and I believe a 3.5-inch tip, which are a little shorter. I'm just gonna show you. This is what it looks like. The number is kind of etched. It's not gonna focus, but it's etched onto this black part. This is where the cable joins. I have
butterflies.
You got 2 butterflies. So pretty.
1,
They're
2.
I have found they're not super sharp for sure. They're not as sharp as the Chow Goose, but I haven't found that to be a problem. What I'm going to say about these, the Pro, one of the things that I love is all of these have the same cable connector. So on the Chow Goose needles, you have large and small cables, which is fine, but it's like the bigger needles have large cables, the smaller needles have small cables. If you have the shorty sets of interchangeable needles, those even have different connectors. You can't just switch out cables without more equipment. These have all the same cable connector, no matter what the needle size, from 3.5 millimeter all the way up to 12 millimeters. They are very smooth. They are very slick. I have knit one whole sweater, which was the first super bulky grandpa sweater, half of the second one on these Lykke needles. And I have also knit the entire yoke and part of the body on Luca's that is my mix and match cardigan in hot pink yarn. I haven't touched that in the last 2 weeks, which is why I didn't show it to you. That is on 4 millimeter needles. So I've tried the 4 millimeter needles. I have tried the 8 millimeter needles. And I believe I used a even bigger size than that because I knit a couple of hats on these as well. So I've used them pretty extensively over the last several months since I received them. And I have to say they're really nice. Y'all know you're only ever gonna get an honest review from me. I expected to not like them because they are wooden needles. I expected them to catch on the yarn, to be hard to use, to not be sharp enough. None of that happened. They're super slick. They're super nice feeling in your hands, and I really like them. And I can say, because on the super bulky grandpa cardigan, I knit the sleeves on my Chow Goose because I had short circulars, and I knit the body on these. It does make a difference in my hands, especially because this pregnancy, for some reason, my hands have been killing me. I don't know why, but like my hands keep hurting a lot. Some kind of ligament thing, I guess. And these hurt less. I will say they are not as fast. I cannot knit as fast on these as I can on my Chow Goose, which does bother me slightly because I want to go fast because I don't get that much knitting time. But I think it's a better trade-off to knit slightly slower and have these not hurt my hand and arm so much. Not only does it not hurt my hand so much, it doesn't hurt my arm. My whole shebang. Where's what? What are you looking for? What you looking for, baby?
This.
Let's move this pillow so you have room. My whole shebang feels better. So I really like them. I have one complaint. And if you have been here a while, you're gonna know what it is. It is these cables. Horrendous. I hate these cables. And I hate to say that because I really like these needles and they sent them to me to review. And I want to give them a super positive review, but they lose a point for these cables. These cables are awful. They do not unkink unless you boil them in water, which is, why is that a step that I have to do? It's attached, baby. You gotta let everything else go out of your hand and use 2 hands to pick it up. I could, whoa, you gonna draw pictures? I could boil this in water and then it would be fine. It'll relax for the project that I'm using it for. Whoa, you okay? I'm gonna draw a picture over here where it's safe and padded. The minute that I wind this back up into a loop and put it back in the case, it's gonna stay like this. So which means next project, I'm gonna have to boil it again. I cannot stand this nonsense. The cable connectors I have found to be completely fine. I love that they swivel. That is a really nice feature. I know that Chow Goose does have some swivel tips, but I don't have that interchangeable set, so my needles sometimes get annoyingly untwisted. I haven't had any problems with the needles coming untwisted from these cables. I haven't had any problem with catching on the yarn or anything like that. What is happening here? There. I haven't had any problems like that, but I cannot stand that this is not a memory-free cable. The childhood cables have ruined me on that. So what I will say is, if you're going with this set, beware of these cables. If you don't mind this, then fine. But if you do mind this, this is something to think about. That is the kind of cable you are going to get. Now you can get, I don't have the actual cable because it's attached to my mix and match cardigan. It is a Knitter's Pride swivel cord. A lovely viewer of this podcast sent me one. Her name is Jill. And this is what the cord itself looks like. It's kind of like a bluish teal cord, the Mindful collection. This cord does not kink. I have not had any problems with this particular cord kinking on my mix and match cardigan, which is much more delightful. But it bothers me that you would spend all of the money on a beautiful set of knitting needles like this, only to then have to spend more money on cords that don't kink. This is, so I don't know. That's my only complaint, which to me is kind of a big deal. So like, for example, on this super bulky grandpa cardigan that I am knitting right now, I have knit this twice, mind you. Let's see if I can just, so these needles have not been wound up. This cable has not been wound up in a while, and it still does this. Like it has memory in it, like that. So it doesn't matter how long. I mean, I guess you could like weigh them down or something. It just seems like an extra step to me that I should not have to do. And it seems like extra money if you want to pay to get cords that don't do that. However, if you are having arm and hand problems, it really may be worth it because these needles are so nice. They're really, really, I have not had any hand problems knitting on these at all. And they make me really happy.
No.
They're beautiful. They're pointy enough for me. I haven't tried knitting lace on them, but they're pointy enough for me. They come in a wide range of sizes. I do love the swivel. I like the cable connector. I haven't had any problems with them coming untwisted. I haven't had any problems with them breaking. And I knit pretty tightly. So yeah, overall, 4 out of 5 stars. They lose 1 star for the cable. But I really think this is a good knitting needle set, especially if you have hand issues. They're also much cheaper than Chowkers. And I probably will be using these frequently, but also for the entire duration of my pregnancy because they're so much better on my hands. Now, I do want to share with you a little bit of Happy Meal. So this is going to be a continued series. So I have one more knitting needle set to review. And it is these. Would you like the picture of the sheepies?
Okay.
It came with a little postcard. These are plastic knitting needles. They are Denise To Go's. This is the Blue Flower interchangeable set. It includes 10 needles, 3.75 millimeters to 10 millimeters, 6 cords, 4 in buttons, 2 extenders. These are made in the US, and it is a woman-owned company. And I have not tried these knitting needles. They came in this week, but I'm going to be trying them. No, that has to stay closed because those are really sharp. I don't want you to poke yourself with the knitting needles. That would hurt you. Ouch. Do you like your scarf? Wow. I have their complete set of Tunisian hooks, and they are the only Tunisian hooks that I will use. They are magical. I love the Denise Tunisian hooks, and I haven't done any Tunisian crochet in quite a while. I don't know why. I need to get back to that. There's a pattern actually in Morat magazine that's a Tunisian cowl that I desperately want to make, and I just don't have time, but I'll get around to it eventually. I cannot say enough good things about their Tunisian crochet hooks. I love them. So I reached out and I was like, okay, so I'm doing this series. We've done metal needles, I'm doing wooden needles for specific arthritis, hand and arm issues. Would you be interested in providing a set of plastic needles to be included in that review? And they said, yes, absolutely. And they sent me this set. Now, I have not used them yet. They just came out of the package, but I want to show you what it looks like. So it rolls up and it looks like this. So you get this many needles. They're fun colors, which I love. I think they also have like a neon set. No, these are really sharp, baby doll. These are really sharp, super sharp.
And a big one.
You may hold one big one. Do not poke yourself, or I will put them away, because that will result in a lot of crying. The biggest size in here is a 10 millimeter, and the smallest size is 3.75. I will say I don't go based on US needle sizes. I have no idea what the US needle sizes are. Like this says it's a US size 11 on it. What is that in millimeters? Truly no idea. I'm gonna have to get a little conversion chart to stick in here because I go based on millimeters. I'm sure that's a problem that 95% of you don't have. If you're in the US, you know what the sizes are. You'd be like, oh, a US 11 is this. I have no idea. So what they said when I was communicating with them about this was that these needles actually, they have gotten some good reviews on from people with hand issues because they do kind of warm up in your hands like a wooden needle, and they have a little bit of give. They're a little bit flexible.
I need help.
You need help?
Okay.
I don't know if you can see, but it does bend just a little bit, but they are also really slick, just like metal needles. So I'm interested to compare these to metal needles and to
Help.
the Driftwoods. Help you with what? Oh, it's turned off maybe. There, fixed it. This is a drawing pad that you can draw on endlessly and then just, it's really cool. Here you go, I fixed it. You can draw pictures now. Thank you, Mommy. You're welcome, Nova.
Bye.
I'm almost gonna say bye, okay?
Bye.
Not yet, I'm not yet done talking. So I'm just interested to see how these work. I do wanna show you one of their cables. They have a thicker cable.
Bye.
I have to do a little bit of research. I believe that the smallest you can get is this small 3.75 one right here. I think that's the smallest needle you can get, probably because of these cables. But as I said before, what are you doing?
Help.
You need help with what? Stand up like a normal person. You can't push this or the whole setup's gonna go flying.
I need this help. Help.
You need what?
Help the coffee table move.
No, I don't want the coffee table to move because I'm using it.
It's gonna go flying.
Yes, it will go flying. So they fold up like this. I don't even know what I was saying. I'm interested to try them. I will not be able to do the Super Bulky Grandpa, the rest of it on those needles, because I'm using an 8mm needle and I don't believe an 8mm needle is included in the set. However, there's for sure a 3.75mm needle and a 4mm needle, which I can switch my mix and match cardigan to, and I will try that because that's a lot of straight stockinette, knit, and purl. And I'm really interested to see how fast it is compared to the wood needles and to the metal needles. So we will see. So far, what I will tell you is, I think Chalgu is the gold standard for metal needles. The only ones that I have heard come close, even though I haven't used them personally myself, is the Hiya Sharps or Hiya regulars. I love my Chalgus, but they do hurt my arms. Lykke, love them. Love the Driftwoods. They're very slick. They're nice and pointy for what I use them for. I love the cables. I love the connectors. I think the price point is good. The case is nice too. My only complaint about these is the cable, but very solid needle set, especially because I really do think they are good for hand and arm issues. And then TBD on these Denise ones. I will be knitting on these for a couple of months, and then I will let you know how these compare to metal and wooden needles as well. I'm tired. I can't believe we made it through this. I've had to pause this video so many times. We're not sick as we were yesterday, but we are not happy. We're very cranky today. Patience. I need to pray for patience. That's what I need to do. There's just something about being a parent that's gonna go super well, I think, when we add another baby to this mix. I am a lot more sure of myself than I was before. Like, when she was little and she was fussy, I would like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make this stop. And now I'm much more like calm because I realize I don't actually have to make it stop. It will work itself out. I can be here. It is perfectly okay for her to be upset if I say no to something. It's perfectly okay for me to be upset if I'm disappointed about something. I'm a lot like even yesterday, I was up in the middle of the night because she had a fever, she was crying. And then we were both so tired yesterday. She had a fever, we stayed on the couch, but I was like, I was a zombie. I was so tired. But I wasn't like despairing about it like I would have been maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago. Instead, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sleep. The second she goes to bed, I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna go to bed early tonight. This will not last forever. We've made it through hard days before. Like, that kind of self-talk is wonderful to have. And I guess it's just something that comes with experience. I don't know. But I feel overall like I can handle more things. So that's positive. Also, I know it's been a while. There's like a whole group of people running down the street outside. It's not something you see every day. This is kind of a neighborhood nobody runs through. I haven't talked about anxiety in a while. But I do want to let y'all know, I still struggle. You got balls? You're throwing your balls? Wow, the green one and a yellow one? That sounds fun. So I have had a counselor for like a year now, over a year. She's going on maternity leave, and she will be on maternity leave from the end of April, basically until this baby is born. Speaking of this baby, it's the bump date. I feel like this is what it looks like if I go like this. It's definitely there, but it's not like super big. We are at 17 weeks today. So I don't know how big the baby is. Last week it was compared to an avocado, like 4 or 5 inches. Oh, thank you. A piece of junk mail. It's just what I always wanted. You can rip that up, Nova. Everything I put all the junk mail in a box for her, and I call it the RIP box so she can rip it. She loves to destroy. Thanks. Hear it? Yes, you can rip the mail that is in that box. It's just for you to rip. What was I saying? Oh yes, my counselor will be out. And I actually feel fairly okay. I have not been super anxious. Certainly at the doctor's appointments I have, but so far everything has been going well. But in general, I have not been as anxious as I thought I would be, which I think is great. But I have reached out to another counselor who we have found a way to work it into our schedule for the next several months, like maybe 6 months, just so that I have someone that I'm maybe gonna see once a month or once every 3 weeks, proactively to try to get ahead of the postpartum anxiety this time. Is it possible that I would be okay? Yeah. Is it possible that I would not be okay? Also, yeah. And I don't really want to take that chance. I have a toddler at home, and I do not want to have the same experience that I had last time. And it's already a different experience, and I will talk to y'all so much more about that another time when this is not happening. But I just want to encourage you, like, if you don't only have to seek help when you are at the end of your rope, when you are like desperately dying, like everything is terrible, something is wrong, like everything is mostly okay right now. And I am trying to get ahead of this because I know that I'm going to be anxious postpartum. I know I'm going to be overstimulated. I know I'm going to have a significant lack of sleep. and that is all going to be really difficult for me. So I'm trying to get ahead of it and proactively do something. And so I just want to encourage you, you don't have to only seek support when you're at the end of your rope. Like, you can proactively do something instead of like get a physical, instead of waiting until you're sick to go to the doctor, that kind of stuff. That's all possible, and it's really helpful. Is it a lot of work? Yeah. It was a lot of work to find someone else who had experience in maternal mental health, that was also in network with my insurance, who also was available to see people in person. Trying to find someone is a headache for sure, but it's worth it. And the way that I look at it is that is an investment in myself. This is actually self-care. And it's self-care, it's caring for Nova too, because who's gonna get the brunt of it if I'm super duper anxious? Her. Not the baby, because the baby's not gonna know what's going on. The baby's just gonna be sleeping and pooping and crying, right? But she is intuitive enough, she is old enough to know. And I want to be, well, I will still be exhausted, and I will still be like frazzled beyond all belief. I don't want to be as anxious as I was when she was born. So I'm taking steps to try to build some buffers, to build some protection zone around that. So I just want to encourage you to do that too. Like, so you can't have the exact therapist that you want, your insurance still may cover somebody. If I couldn't have found someone who was willing to see me in person, I would have gone online. Is that ideal for me personally? No, but it would have been better than nothing. So that's my encouragement to you. Don't wait until you're like completely out of control to get support. You deserve support anytime. And I'm really happy that I've arranged that. I feel, it makes me feel like it is a different experience already because I have taken steps to get support. I think I'm gonna call it there because I don't know how long we have. Nova, would you like to say bye-bye to the friends?
Bye.
You gotta come up here, they can't see you. You gonna sing the song?
See him again real soon.
That was beautiful. Bye-bye, friends. We'll see you here again real soon. That's my favorite part. Real soon. And you know what's my favorite word that you say lately? Can you say hippopotamus?
Hippopotamus.
And can you say binocular? Now I'm gonna say it wrong. Binoculars?
Binoculars.
That's my favorite. Binoculars. You're a silly goose. Nova is a silly goose. A Daffy Down and Dilly Goose who takes her baths in apple juice. Ah! Okay, we're gonna sign off for now. Whoa, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know if you are also getting pushed very hard by toddler feet. And I will see you in another 2 weeks. Hi, what are you doing?
I don't go night-night.
Well, it's not night time. You don't have to go night.
I said you.
She said, I don't want to go night. Well, you don't have to. It's not night time. So it's just fine.
I said you.
I will check you when you go night, but it's not night time yet. You can stay awake. You can stay awake. We're going to get some lunch before you go night. Help me, Lord.
We're going to go to sleep with a Band-Aid on.
We're going to go to sleep with a Band-Aid on because we have a
Boo-boo.
boo-boo. Ah, there's toes in my ribs. These toes specifically. Oh, okay. It's enough shenanigans. Until I see you again, happy crafting. Be kind to yourself. Leave me a comment. Let me know what is up in your life. Let me know what steps you are taking to take care of yourself and be proactive. And I will see you again real soon. Real soon. Real soon. Bye, friends.